I don't know what I'm going to talk about today. So if you'd like to find out with me, then welcome to this conversation. Where are we going to start? We're going to start right here where we are. So in this moment, there's a shared experience happening where there's sounds coming out of my mouth and we're all hearing it. You're hearing it, I'm hearing it, anyone else who's in the vicinity is also hearing it. There might be also sounds coming out of anywhere in your experience that are vibrating with your eardrums, and you're experiencing all that sound, and your brain's somehow translating that into something that means something to you. I can hear the wind outside. It's kind of windy today. I hear the distant thrum of traffic. I can hear my breathing. Some creaking in the house, the old wood. Mostly the wind. That's the main thing I'm hearing right now. So that's kind of the vibe. So we have this experience. We don't know what it is or what it means. There are sounds happening. Okay. So what do we do with it? Do we need to do anything with it? First of all, why am I so in such a hurry to do something with the wind? Sound of the wind. Is that okay to just talk about that on YouTube and not make something out of it? Is it a waste of my time and yours for us to just sit here, not to do anything? Or is that actually the gateway, the doorway into a more deeper, more resonant sense of being that we can root ourselves in and take a sigh of relief and say, it's okay to just be here with the sound of the wind and whatever it is that you're hearing in your ears, because I can't hear from your ears. I can only hear from mine. And so whatever that is for you that you're hearing right now, including the sounds that I'm making, but everything else as well, is part of that tapestry. Why do we say why am I saying tapestry? Because a tapestry is a bunch of threads that are woven together to make a fabric. I guess sounds are kind of like that too, maybe. All the different sounds, and they give us this sort of this one sound, which is everything we're hearing. And that gives us the vibe of what's happening, right? So without getting too analytical into this, every sound has its own speed or its own frequency. And all the different speeds and the frequencies just kind of combine. The waves all combine together to make one weird shape. And that's always changing too. So we just have this constantly new, different experience. So that's number one, is what it is right now is always, always, always new and changing. Even if we feel like our brains are making it into the same thing. So it's really, really interesting that we build objects. You might be sitting in a room right now. You might be sitting on a chair or couch or a bed. That object is something that seems solid and lasts for a time. So you feel like it's not really changing that much. You know what to expect. You know what the couch, the bed, the chair, the floor feels like. Every time you sit on it, it kind of feels more or less the same, but it doesn't. But your brain has recognized that it is not changing enough that it matters to you. It's not something that you need to devote a lot of attention to, because there's no surprises coming out of the floor. There's no, you know what I'm saying? Like when there's an earthquake and the ground opens up, people are absolutely shocked. It's like a life-changing experience, because usually the ground does not do that. Usually the chair you're sitting on isn't going to spontaneously transform into a dragon and breathe fire on you. But you never know. You never know. You got to stay alert. But that's my point, is like the environment we find ourselves in usually is more or less seems static, seems like it's not changing, but yet our mind seems like it's running a million miles every minute. And people seem to be constantly talking and moving and doing this, that, the other thing. People have a lot of energy. They don't necessarily know how to focus it, what to do with it. So for me, I'm sitting here like, okay, What do we find in the moment? We keep ourselves busy, of course. We're all afraid of dying. We all need something to do. We all need a focus for our lives to give us a sense of purpose beyond just who we are. But we tend to often throw ourselves into that work or raising children or whatever and kind of forget what's actually going on because we're so immersed in that activity. It gives us something to externally focus on so that we don't really have to pay attention to the quiet, the stillness that is really ever present. And why would we want to do that? This is the question. Why do we care about this quiet, the silence, or the stillness? I can only say this. Modern people, and I don't know about people in the past, but people that I've been around since 1980, whatever, people in that time seem very scattered, very distracted, very energy this way, that way, this way. They don't really know what they're doing. I'm not saying that I know what I'm doing. I just recognize, though, that everything else around us besides people seems to be on a different wavelength that is more slower and more balanced and just okay. It's okay. With the exception of natural disaster events, weather events like hurricanes, mudslides, those kinds of things that can suddenly destroy many lives, right? Without those, all the other problems on the earth that keep us so busy, distracted, confused, overwhelmed is mostly made up from the human mind. It's just our beliefs and ideas that we're communicating to each other that's causing all this stress. Because, right, there's no dinosaurs trying to eat us. There's no lions trying to eat most people at this point. So there aren't any other animals that are giving us stress. It's just some natural disasters and weather situations. And then this overwhelming impulse that we have to have more and more children and make more and more people and then run out of space on the earth so that we feel a little bit cramped and like we're struggling to get food and water. Then we get really stressed. Besides that survival issue, a lot of the time it's actually very quiet still. There's not much going on that you can see. As to what's going on under the surface in the energy world, I don't know. But we're just talking about what is observable here. So I don't know if you noticed, but I think I just talked for 5-10 minutes because maybe it was not comfortable for me to just listen to the sound and just be with that and go deeply into that. What happens if I actually just be with that experience here? I start to relax. It feels pretty good. There's also pain. There's also emotion. There's also trauma. There's also all kinds of things, signals and information that are not something that I want to deal with right now. And I think we all face that kind of issue where in order to find a place of balance and harmony and peace, we also have to unearth or release or work with all these negative feelings and thoughts and patterns of energy that have been stored in our bodies, because it is our bodies that's holding things, whether for good or for bad. And to be in your environment in the moment, to listen, to see, to feel, requires a full capacity of the body and a full connection to the body. So when the mind kind of comes down into that place, we also encounter all of these unpleasant experiences as well. That's been my experience over and over and over again. I don't know how long it takes to get through it, or if you ever do get through it, or if that's just part of the acceptance process. Is actually some of these feelings are ones that I might not like. But if I want to be here fully, well, they have to be here as well. Otherwise, we're not able to be here. So that's part of it. Makes me feel not frustrated, not sad, resistant, because we have to accept every little bit of everything. It's a work in progress. Not something that happens overnight. And it is always changing, right? We have different energies that are stored in our bodies that have different size, shape, and also different level, different time. So some, like moods, for example, might last for a minute, an hour, a week. Everything is like that. So any feeling you have inside yourself that's like feels solid or feels like it's stuck there, there's a saying, this too shall pass. But if you actually look at what that is, the thing that's stuck in you, and you recognize that it's actually moving, it's actually moving, you can change your perspective. When we have something that feels stuck for a long time, we might think, oh, it feels like it's been stuck for a year or something. And I'm 30 years old, for example. And oh, that's like such a big time in my life. But if we actually look into that thing, we see it's actually changing, moving a lot. Everything's changing, moving a lot. And it's like, as if it's like an ice cube or something, or what do you call it? What are those? Giant iceberg. Like it's like an iceberg. Um, and it feels so solid. It will melt over time, turn into water. And it's that sense of time that we get stuck with. But if we focus more on the shifting energetic movement of that thing, we're going to say, oh, this is actually moving. It's not stuck. It's actually moving. Everything is moving. Okay, I'm not stuck. I thought I was stuck. That was just an idea I had in my head. I thought that I was being impatient and it wouldn't move fast enough. That was just an idea I had in my head as well. So it's actually moving. It's actually moving. That softens things up. So even we can move with these big energies that take a long time to move. We can kind of hold them a little bit better. They're just bigger movements is all. Not what we're used to. Not something we can do in a day. That's the thing. You can't resolve it in a day, but you can sink into the movement and be like, oh, okay, I'm just going to move along with this. It's moving. It's moving. And then you're in the flow. It's just a different speed than what you thought, like rocking a baby right now. Maybe it's kind of like that. So just timing wise, I think I actually need to get going for now. Because things are always changing and moving. And right now it's time for me to move my body and do some kind of exercise. So I don't know if this conversation went anywhere, but it's my effort, my attempt to try to talk about things. So hope you guys keep moving and talk to you next time.